Hello and welcome to the StudyTravel news video. I'm Matthew Knott.
And I'm Jenny Fennelly, bringing you the latest news.
The headlines this week, coronavirus latest as Italy suspends school group travel.
Further increase in students for Canada.
Australian government aims for ELT growth.
And much more, including Quality English, OIEG and Young Learners English UK.
But first, the novel coronavirus, and this week the Italian government has announced a suspension of school group travel within and out of the country as it attempts to contain an outbreak in the north of Italy. Other measures implemented include a lockdown of 10 towns in Lombardy and a 7-day suspension of public schools and universities in some regions.
Pina Foti, president of IALCA, said it was hard to know if the suspension would be extended beyond an initial 14 days and that it had had an immediate negative impact on business. She asked for understanding and flexibility with regards to rescheduling.
English UK indicated that several member schools were expecting groups in coming weeks, and Feltham advised StudyTravel magazine that more than 1,000 students have cancelled trips as a result.
In other coronavirus news, the Australian government has announced a slight relaxation of its suspension of entry from China. It said that Year 11 and 12 high school students can apply for an exemption to the travel restrictions, and that this was in recognition of the importance of the final years of school.
To Canada now, where government data has revealed that there were more than 640,000 study permit holders in the country as of the 31st of December 2019, a 13% increase compared with the previous year.
India overtook China as the top source country in 2018 and continued its ascendancy with a 28% increase last year, while China had a flat 12 months. Amongst other top 10 source countries, France, Iran, Brazil and Mexico registered strong growth.
Ontario hosted almost half of study permit holders and was followed by British Columbia and Quebec. Larissa Bezo, President and CEO of the Canadian Bureau for International Education, welcomed the data and said that students choose Canada because of the quality of its education system and reputation as a safe and tolerant country.
To Australia now, where the government has released a draft strategy to develop sustainable growth and diversify markets for the country's English language teaching sector. Other measures include embracing innovative practices and flexibility in the sector.
Brett Blacker, CEO of English Australia, welcomed the move and the recognition of the role that industry peak bodies play. He said the focus on diversification and sustainability was critical in light of recent challenges of bushfires and the coronavirus.
And now for a roundup of some of the other stories this week. Quality English has launched a new e-mission platform for its licensed schools and colleges to carry out meetings with agent partners online, responding to suggestions generated at its recent annual conference. QE said it will soon announce a schedule of e-missions to complement its face-to-face agent events.
Oxford International Education Group has expanded its University Pathway Partnership division through a new agreement with Jacobs University, a private English medium institution in the German city of Bremen.
Young Learners English UK held its first ever conference in London last week, focusing on quality issues in the junior sector, accreditation, mental health and environmental responsibility, amongst other topics.
Home-to-Home Language Immersion Experiences, a Spain-based outbound agency and provider of inbound programs, has expanded with new offices near Barcelona.
Go Britannia Student Accommodation Agency has announced an expansion of its portfolio by offering residences in Brighton and Dublin.
The University of Huddersfield in the UK has unveiled new postgraduate business degrees to be delivered in London in collaboration with Study Group.
Australia's Monash University will become the first overseas institution to open a branch campus in Indonesia later this year. Monash Jakarta will offer master's, PhD and executive programs.
ETS has announced that test takers of the TOEFL English language exam will be able to access provisional indicator scores on listening and reading elements immediately after the test.
More on all of those stories online, as well as photos from the YLE UK conference and an afternoon tea at the House of Commons hosted by the All-Party Parliamentary Group for International Students.
Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Goodbye.